Welcome back to Metals, Money, and Markets Weekending, August 11th, 2017. With me, as always, Mickey Fulp, the Mercenary Geologist, and from miningclips.com, I'm Rob Goodman. Mickey, I'd say North Korea is about all we need to say right now. Tensions are escalating and kind of mixed bag across the board here. Very good news for the metals. Let's start there. Silver really the big winner here this week.
Yes, Rob, all the metals were up. This geopolitical risk, good for them, but it's been bad for money and markets this week. First off, gold up 2.4%, closed at 1289. Still has to get past that 1300 resistance. General take and consensus among analysts is that geopolitical risk is going to move the gold market up or down over the next few weeks. Silver, as you mentioned, up 5%, closed at 1710. Platinum, another nice week, up to 983 for a 2% gain. And palladium had a 2.3% gain to 884. So the geopolitical risks scenario is very good for precious metals.
Copper up a couple cents here this week.
Another very good week for copper. It hit a high of 292, closed at 290 for a little less than a percent gain, but very strong fundamentals. The specs are very positive about copper, and the forward curve is looking good. So we expect the copper market hopefully to get past this $3 resistance.
Moving on to energy, oil was batting up against 50, pulled back a bit, but uranium was the winner this week.
Uranium was up 75 cents to close at $21. No one's excited about that, but at least the trend is upward. Oil had a very mixed week. It went above 50, fell back down. A lot of mixed news in the oil market. Closed at 48.79, lost 1.5%. Mainly because OPEC's approaching 1 million barrels higher production since March. Meanwhile, U.S. inventories continue to fall. Production and from the shale patch is flattened. However, Libyan production is way up now. And balancing all this out is that world demand continues strong with this year project 1.5 million barrel more demand per day.
Heading on to the currencies, a little mixed bag here as well, but the dollar fell back a little here.
Yeah, the dollar is still weak. It closed at 93.07. That's up from its low midweek last week, but still a 0.4% loss for the week. Meanwhile, the euro continues to look strong at 118, 0.3% change. Meanwhile, the loonie, the big loser on the week, it's lost 2% over the last couple of weeks, back below 79 cents at 78.84. I think something to do with this has to be the oil price. And meanwhile, the British leftist government, the coalition, the NDP and the Green Party, have come out with strong opposition. They say they are going to kill the Kinder Morgan pipeline expansion into the port of Vancouver. So that had to weigh on the loonie too.
Finishing up with the markets, as mentioned at the top, North Korea weighed on everything off across the board here.
Yeah, this war of words between the North Korean dictator and President Trump is heating up. That really affected the markets over the last couple of days. Dow closed down over 1% to 21,858. S&P 500 down almost 1.5% to 2441. NASDAQ also 1.5% loss to 6257. One thing we should note that the VIX has jumped to 15, which is probably a 4 or 5 month high on this news. More importantly, probably is the S&P 500 and NASDAQ both went below their 50-day moving averages. The Russell 2000, the small cap index, continues to underperform only up 1.5% this year as compared to the broader markets. So the correction is set to happen. We'll see if it occurs over the next few weeks, but certainly geopolitical risk is weighing on these markets.
And finishing up north of the border with the venture, a little loss this week off a few points.
Yeah, off 3 points at 763 for about a 0.5% loss. It continues weak, although the volumes did tick up a bit. Once again, we got to wait for Labor Day in that market.
All right, Mickey, we'll keep our eye on the wire and what's going on in North Korea. Have yourself a great weekend.
You too, Rob.